Talk to him.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether the winters were left in the cold.
Yo, it's Classic with the Classic Codes. Got another reaction today, or a conversation to join in to, rather. Ice from the Joe Budden Podcast, daring artists to try something different. We're going to check out the coverage on that. But before we get started, I need you to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and drop a comment as we go along so we can have a conversation. We got to crack these codes, man. Y'all know I ain't about wasting no time, so let's get straight into it. Yes, Lord.
I ask from a lot of artists. I ask that. I want to hear you try something different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I said it about people that I'm big fans of. Like, all right, dog, you're making the same song or the same album over and over and over and over. It's almost unfair because the second you try to do something different and it don't work, we ready to kill you for it. Mm-hmm. So it's like, which way? You can't have it both ways. Either you want somebody to stay the same, never change, and just stay here, or you try to evolve, try to adapt, and then you have to have a fallback in case that don't work.
I encourage everybody out there listening to not listen to me when it comes to matters pertaining to music. I am old and grumpy. You might be lit trying to have fun. My ears just don't hear it that way anymore. I'm sorry.
So when the rapper tries to go into the singing harmonizing lane, right? It's still along the rapping lane to you. Like, I was just thinking about something. I may be off. Like when I was thinking about DMX just now, and then when he was rapping one way, and then he went to politicking with the chicken, one and then like a creeper, little hood rat chick. Like, is that along the same lines of his repertoire? That type of, or like when he started to harmonize and sing, you could like say that he was trying something new.
He always harmonizing and singing a little bit.
Mm-hmm. But from where my dog's at and all that stuff, it wasn't because I remember like hearing the Rough Riders anthem and then going into that and like the Pain song and catering to the women and stuff like that. So like, is that trying something new to you, Joe, or that's
if
just?
I understand your question
Rough Riders
correct,
got some harmonic melodic shit happening in it too. Nothing.
I don't even want to offend DMX by putting him in the same boat as you today niggas. Y'all ain't that.
I understand.
None of y'all are that.
I don't think
DMX
that much of a
is an
departure.
absolute megastar.
Yes, yes, Joe.
So to Mel's point, it never felt like a departure because "Get At Me Dog" was a club song in Jersey City.
Yes.
"Stop Being Greedy" was a club song
Also
in Jersey
there
City.
too.
Yeah.
Look Through My Eyes is on that album.
Got it. Okay, no, just
And the first couple tracks on, when he dropped 2 albums in the same year. I think the first 2 tracks on part 2 is fucking club records. That's when Swiss was in his.
All right, so they're going off on a tangent a little bit, but the initial point that was made by Ice saying he encouraging artists to try something different, it's a tough situation to be in, and I think speaking from an artist standpoint, when you creating music, no longer just to be creative and let your creative energy flow and just make the music. When you creating music for profit and you're creating music to catch one, to make a hit, to make a club song, it takes a little bit away from your creativity. If you're thinking about the money and trying to be creative at the same time, it can fuck with you as an artist. And I'm just being honest about that. So when he's saying like try some new stuff, these dudes might got something creative that they want to try, but is it gonna mess up the bag? You see what I'm saying? Because it's easy for him to say, because his livelihood, it's easy for him to say, if it don't work, have a fallback plan. Depending on the details of said artist deal with the label, having a bad album may get them shelved for a while. And now they can't even implement the fallback plan like that because they on the hook contractually. So, I mean, it gets real sticky real quickly, no Diddy. And I just think that's something that everybody would have to think about when they say, oh, just try something new. If this dude ain't no independent artist just doing whatever because he could do whatever, it's not that simple.
Ain't no way you're gonna
Yeah,
stop.
that's so he grew
album.
and evolved into that, but X never felt forced to me.
No,
got it. Okay. No, I know you know, but I'm sorry. Yeah.
And I still want that megastar smoke with Parks. I listen to the episode. That shit don't sit right with me.
Why?
Because it ain't no megastars and it ain't no superstars. And all the stars that you named were stars from the era that I'm talking about.
What?
You said Beyonce, you said Drake, you said Kendrick, you said Cole, you said Jay-Z.
The argument that we had was that you don't stop. No one stops.
None of these. I'm saying none of these niggas are stars or have star-like qualities. They fooling us into thinking
of the new generation.
Yes, Cardi is the star.
From what year?
It's not really fair for him to say that. Cardi not even a star like the people you just named. Her either, because I think social media kind of kills some of that. The over access kills some of the stardom. Stars used to be enigmatic, right? There used to be an element of mystery to a star. There used to be an element of, oh my God, I'm in the same place at the same time as this person. Now you can follow a person everywhere they go, on their Instagram, on their Twitter, on their TikTok. You know what I mean? You can follow a person wherever they go. They vlogging pretty much for the most part, a lot of stars, with the exception of a few reclusive stars like J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar. But aside from that, most people, you at the grocery store with them. So it's like, yeah, you start feeling like they your homie. So some of the mystique is gone by default by way of social media. So I don't know if it's necessarily fair for Joe to have that take on it.
Year you count?
Playboy Cardi is the star.
From what year you counting when you say this?
2010.
Well, if we're being technical,
12, 15.
then you're probably saying 2015 and beyond because that's the last 10 years. But
Okay.
we old, so I'll put it to 2010. Drake is from 2010.
Yeah, he's pretty.
Kendrick Cole, all that big three shit is
Yeah.
from
2010.
2010. If you want to claim Travis,
Travis, yeah, for sure.
Cool.
2016 plus.
he's that.
Yeah, 15 plus. Really.
The Weeknd,
Future might be.
The Weeknd, Future,
His stardom came. He started
3. But my point is, we about to start struggling in
Music
3 more names. That's my point.
Yeah.
And whatever the superstar is today, it just don't mean or have the same.
You talking about just hip hop overall?
Well, I'm talking about hip-hop.
Yeah,
I'm talking about rap superstars because we should
yeah.
be we should be allowed to have.
If you're talking
some.
about just rap, then
yeah, I'm just talking about rap.
yeah.
I'm
It's
just talking about rap.
tricky.
There's no superstars like
Yeah.
young superstars of the last 10 years.
And I mean, how much faith do we have in the farm system?
None right now. None.
Well, the thing about it too is, as far as young superstars, now that they narrowed it down to that pot, now that they talking about young superstars, the thing about that is a lot of the younger artists don't be talking about nothing. So it's hard for them to be mega stars. If you think about mega superstars, they generally got a hit or some hits that have a high level of connectivity that evoke emotion out of people, not just this is the ultimate club banger, right? It's a lot of artists that catch one or catch two or catch three as far as club songs, but not everybody makes a, what's a song that's a good example? The Wiz Khalifa song. See You Again. That song right there, that could put, Wiz is who he is, but that type of record where it connect with people. I've been at a Wiz concert where he performed that song and people all around me just bawling out in tears, crying. You know what I mean? To be a super mega superstar, you got to have context and some texture and some relatability to some of your biggest songs in order to be like that. If you're not connecting in that way and you just got them joints for the club, that's mostly heavy production and your words really don't matter because you're not saying nothing that resonate with people's soul, then yeah, you're not gonna have that. Ain't nobody gonna faint when they see you. It's just like, oh, there go bro that wear all the glittery jewelry and shit. We in the same place at the same time. What up? You know what I mean? Versus like, oh my God, it's Michael Jackson. You see what I'm saying? Like that stardom, that is kind of gone.
Now, right this second.
None. Because anybody that's lit and popping is going to just do it on their own, which is going to bypass the superstar system.
And there's no longevity in it now. You hot, you lit, all of that today. Nobody's getting the
People ain't really planning for longevity.
no,
not at all. It's not
the
at all.
company's not either.
Nobody said that.
Or it ain't even just the artists. The companies are not planning for longevity.
Or
We
if
want
they-
you right now.
If they are playing for longevity, they're playing independent or independent adjacent longevity, which is not the superstar model.
Right. We talk, yeah.
Like, no, I'm going to have my fan base. I'm going to rock out. I'm going to make X amount of dollars per year, and I'm good with that.
To me, they're not even building stars anymore or building the artists. That's what I think that's missing. Like when I was watching it as a child or as a teenager, there was things leading up to an artist, and there was like a build up that you can see, photo shoots, different things, going outside, being part of
on
different
such and such,
programs.
yeah.
There were things that were going into building an artist now because of how
Internet.
the internet has taken over and social media.
Attention span.
It's just that, and attention span is short. It's just like that.
Yep.
Everybody
And
wants everything.
It ain't just attention span though, it's connection. It's connection. And they talking about hip hop specifically because there still are mega superstars. But if you look at some of their biggest records, they connect. They connect with the people. Like one thing about Kevin Gates, I always say he's super underrated. I always go to Kevin Gates shows when he on tour. Hopefully I'm back up on my feet by the time he come back through Chicago and I could slide out there and go check him out. But that's neither here nor there. Gates has a lot of music that connects. Every time I go to Kevin Gates shows, I see a lot of people crying, all around crying. So they're connecting. He's saying something that they feel too. And they feel like, damn, I thought nobody else felt me. But he give that energy. And that's why his fan base is so loyal. And that's why he going to be able to tour until he die.
Thing right now for free.
Instantly. So A&Rs, come back outside, nigga. You
can't.
They
Go to the
can't.
AIs.
There's no jobs left. There's no
Build the
there's
A-
no
I don't give a
for
fuck.
them.
I don't give a fuck. Nigga, come up with your own shit.
And who
Build
gonna
these
sign
artists. They go find a nigga from 40 Projects. Build them up. Let them rap. Clean them up.
Who gonna hear them?
We are.
How?
And it's just going to be tough because whoever they build up
Shout out to 40.
is not going to necessarily give a fuck about music.
What do you think they don't care about? Street shit?
Whatever they want. It just won't have to be music. Like Cardi, I hate to bring her up because she'll shoot him. But Cardi was the last person that I looked at like, okay, they building a star.
Yes.
But when the star is just a star, not necessarily a music star, they could say, fuck music, I'm a star already.
Right.
Well,
And not really have to rely on music to be a star. She's just a star.
That's the other side, though. A lot of people look at music as a stepping stool to the stardom.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can do this in music, get hot enough to where I can leave. Not saying Cardi, I'm just in general, music ain't the end all be all no more. Like now, I want to have a
It's
brand.
the
I wanna
entry
do
and
this. I wanna-
exit. They
Yeah.
they enter and exit just a lot faster than we used to. For sure. That's all. I'll say that.
I will say it's been a slow.
Yeah, but this the thing too. A lot of artists don't love it no more. They treating it like that, right? You got some D-boys that got some money from some hood shit or some scams, got some money, and they dump it straight into understanding how to get themselves buzzing on the internet with all these different marketing programs and companies that you could pay bread to if you got a budget, right? The street dudes got the biggest budgets. The dudes that's working 9 to 5 trying to pay $1,000 to a marketing company every month, he gonna lose to the dude that's making, $3,000 a day, selling whatever he's selling, you know what I mean, or scamming whatever he's scamming. So them dudes take their mediocre rapping skills or worse, right? They go get hot beats because they can afford some of the best producers with they dirty money, and they put the same dirty money into their marketing, their videos, all that stuff, and before you know it, they done got themselves hot enough to do some shows and got some interest from a label. And if they talking about something that's detrimental to black people, the label will sign them as fast as possible. This is the reality of the situation. So this is not an accident, is what I'm saying.
Last year was a great year for hip hop music. This year has been
Like me and Joe, like Joe said the other day, nigga, rock and roll coming back. Rock and roll, pop, it's over.
pop is
I mean,
coming
it's early
early.
though.
It's over.
It's only April.
Usually you get a spring something by now.
I think they about to start dropping. Personally, I think if you want to have something to run through the summer, now's the time.
So
Run through the summer.
That was a thing, bro.
You see, the pop artists are still getting developed.
Yes.
There's
Yeah,
still
absolutely.
money being put into the artists to build them. I'm seeing them everywhere.
Yeah.
So what happened to hip hop? So where the A&Rs that's putting together for them? Something is happening with them when I watch. For me to even come up with this opinion I came up with. You know what I mean? There's money being put in them, they're being built, they're being everywhere, their faces are shown, they're doing things that make it look like there's something behind them and make you interested in not only the music, but the person.
Right.
Nowadays, when you become interested in the person in hip hop, the music is lackluster. You don't become interested in the music, you become interested in the person, and then when they're not able to show who they are or keep our attention, then it just falls to
Seems
the
like the
side.
only
You
script they want to follow with developing the person connection that you're talking about in the past 10 years is someone that's going to wild out online or be violent or have some drama going on in their life, and that doesn't lead to a long life, let alone long artist career.
True.
No Joe Budden.
Great point to finish off the episode. Let me lock in. Yeah, so like I said, man, a lot of what they talking about is not an accident. And I think, I'm not saying that they were blaming the artist, but to look at it from the scope of like, the artist can change this, it's more of an infrastructure thing and an agenda thing and a propaganda thing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we have to look at it that way. But the artists that are positive and know how to stay independent because they really learning the business, like a Lil Russell, like Russ, those types of artists, they good for the culture, they good for what's going on. And as long as they keep teaching and preaching what they're doing, it'll be more artists with something to say that can keep control of their careers so that they can continue to just make music organically and build their fan base based on their creativity and not on some A&R that's hired to tell you, I'm going to bring in this songwriter, this producer, we going to make you a hit, and then, or we going to make you a couple hits or purchase you a couple of hits, and then the rest of your album you can make with your creativity. Like that's what be going on sometimes and stuff like that. Or right now, as labels, we only sign an artist that talk about certain things because of X, Y, and Z. I'm not going to get off into the theories, right? But yeah, it's something to it, and it ain't all by mistake. But yeah, man, I'm off this one. Great conversation by the Joe Budden Podcast. This is my first time covering them. I'm gonna do some more reactions with them because I rock with JBP for sure. So make sure y'all hit the like, hit the subscribe button. I'll put a link to the Joe Budden Podcast network in the description. And if y'all don't do nothing else, man, stick to the codes. Yeah.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold. Harden my heart and now harden the flow.